Welcome back. So, how about a happy story? A story where no children die, no one was killed, and no one was hurt. A story that makes you feel good because inside of this gentleman's heart, he did the right thing. He gave back when he has nothing to give. This story takes place in a small town just outside of Seattle, Washington. Kevin Booth, a homeless man who had been homeless for over 7 years, was walking the streets like he does every morning and arrived early in the morning at their local food bank to stand in line to get a free meal and to maybe get a change of socks, and he was looking and hoping that they may have a sweater that would fit him. So while he stood there in line, he saw a plastic bag that was near the entryway of the actual building. He walked over to the plastic bag and picked it up and realized that it was full of actual $20 bills. It wasn't fake money. It wasn't anything other than what that was. He immediately thought of how much this bag full of money could change his life. He pondered it for a little bit on how it could change everything for him. He could get a roof over his head. He could have food. He could, restart his life after he had been successful and lost it all. But instead, after standing there, thinking about it, pondering it, the very first employee who showed up, Kevin Booth, handed him the bag and said, "This is for you." The employee, not even thinking about it, after unlocking the door, walked in and tossed the bag onto a food scale where donations come in and are weighed for those who give donations so they can get a tax write-off. The employee quickly realized what he had put onto the scale wasn't food. He walked over, picked up the bag, and realized it's all cash. $17,000 to be exact, all in $20 bills. Kevin Booth skipped his free meal, a change of socks, and his hopes that day for a sweater. He turned around and walked away. Why? Don't know. Maybe he was afraid of what they would think. That he just turned in this large donation. The $17,000 in cash that he had found came from an anonymous donation, but they were unable to get it through the mail slot on the door. So they left it outside the door on the ground. $17,000. So the food bank, and they feed about 1,000 people a month, and they feed about 300 meals to homeless people every single month as well, along with running a food and clothing and essential needs pantry. They turned it over to the police department. After the police counted it, they had to keep it rightfully for 90 days in case somebody came forward to claim the money as theirs. No one came forward, so the police department released the money to the food bank. The $17,000 will now be used to expand the building that they currently are in, offer more services, and the $17,000 will also additionally help and when they have low periods where they're not getting enough donations, it'll help ride out those periods of time. This $17,000, instead of helping one gentleman, get back on his feet and change his life, will now go to change the lives of thousands of people in his local community. Kevin Booth is his name. Kevin Booth was given a citation from the police department, and he was also given a couple of gift cards from the food bank for his generosity of turning in the money to them so he could buy basic necessities that he needs. A local TV station ran this story. A local radio stations and newspaper have all run this story. The Associated News has picked up the story and ran it nationwide. A lot of people have reached out and want to help Kevin Booth change his life, get a roof over his head, get him back on to the course that where he was before he lost everything. Kevin has politely declined so many of the offers to be paid for his story, to gain financially in any way from this story. He has accepted some offers of basics, new shoes, pants, clothing, items like that, a new sleeping bag, a new tent. He is debating if he will take a local businessman up on the offer of a free apartment in exchange for doing maintenance. But overall, he's humble and he's thankful for those who have reached out and helped him when he had nothing. And he had absolutely nothing. The day he turned that $17,000 in, Kevin Booth had exactly one pair of shoes, two pairs of socks, one pair of underwear, three shirts, a sleeping bag, and a tent that was held together with duct tape and sticks. That's all the man had in this world. And in his heart and in his mind, he decided to do the right thing. Sometimes in this world, those who have the least give the most. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for showing everyone else out there who are complaining that they can't get that new car, they can't get that trip to Bali in the summertime, that when you have nothing, you can still stay humble and be thankful for what you do have. You stay safe out there.